What's up, everybody? Andrew Esquire here, where we're at the Legal Mindset where you are taught to be your own judge, where we all are our own judge. And I'm my own judge of the quality today. I'm here in Thailand. It's my last day here. I'll be heading back to Seoul tomorrow. But I wanted to get a stream in since I won't be able to stream tomorrow morning, which is your evening. So just wanted to get you guys, get in here, talk, and touch on some topics, and just get in here while I could. I know it's not a normal time, so I know we won't have our normal audience. But that being said, it's good to see everybody, and sometimes a smaller audience is better. It's a more intimate chat. I can see all of y'all. What's up, Ayumi6661, Bible lover, Bella Stella? How's it going? Good to see you, Steve C. Everybody, what's going on? John Longson, long last name. How's it going over there? I am on Rumble. Good to see you. Real long last name, Alcron. I am somehow pink on Rumble. I don't know how this happened. I don't know. This is a travesty. I'm gonna call them immediately. And shout out to everybody who's there on locals. Steve C, Lele, Thane Wolfgar, Pastor Flash, Flying Wombat. Good to see all y'all over there as well. I'm gonna tweet this bad boy out just so people who normally wouldn't expect me to be streaming at this odd time know I'm out. And hopefully the sound is all right. Obviously, it's my travel setup. This room has a lot of glass. Whenever there's glass, there's a lot of echoes. Mi scusi. But it's been great. This time in Thailand has been fantastic. I've had a fantastic time. It's been great to escape the frozen, barren wasteland of Seoul. So, oh, yes. And by the way, on the way in, as you guys pile in, be civilized, smash a like button, take off your shoes off, and grab a drink in Andrew's den of degenerate simping bigots. Yes, no problem. You are always allowed to simp. You always get freedom to simp. So let's start here. The first thing I wanted to get into is something that a lot of people have been asking me to cover. Oh, what's up, T-Man? I see you on locals. What's up, brother? And a lot of people were asking about this Ohio train derailment. So I wanted to get into it when there's a little bit more meat on the bone. And I actually have the complaint. Now, I'm going to do a complaint overview. I'm not going to do the deep dive, but I am going to go into that. Oh, real quick, somebody asked me, thoughts on South Park roasting the royal grifters. Fantastic. I did not see the episode. I've just seen clips, but they absolutely deserved it. They got just destroyed. I think it's hilarious that they're out there asking for privacy. They're saying, "Oh, no one will leave us alone," but yet they're doing interviews. They're on a book tour. They're just constantly courting attention, constantly, out there scamming people. It's sad, and people still love them. I mean, I talk to people that are kind of royalophiles or not royalophiles, because people who actually like the royal family hate them. But there's some people out there that just really are simping for Meghan Markle, which, I guess there's weirdos out there, but I think they've lost all credibility in terms of their attacks on the monarchy and their request for privacy. I think they've totally lost that. There's no justification for that. All right, so let's just get into the Ohio train derailment. So a lot of people have been asking me to talk about that. Now, originally, this Ohio thing, I had people spamming the chat saying, it's just like Chernobyl. This is American Chernobyl. And as soon as I hear something like that, I'm like, okay, if it was actually Chernobyl, this would be, if it was actual Chernobyl. I mean, people who understand Chernobyl, people who've studied Chernobyl, I've watched probably every documentary, read all the documents, gone back and looked at everything there is to look on in English. I don't speak Russian, but pretty much if there's something on Chernobyl, I've looked it up. I was fascinated with that as a major event, as something that brought down the Soviet Union, one of the things that brought down the Soviet Union, and just this massive generational event that happened right around when I was born, which is weird. But I want to tell you why this is not Chernobyl and why that's a bad thing. So my explanation of Ohio here is why Ohio is not Chernobyl, and that's a bad thing. If it was Chernobyl, this sounds crazy, but bear with me. If it was Chernobyl, we might actually be in a better position. So let's talk about why. And in the context of the complaint, in the context of the facts, in context of the state of our infrastructure, this is going to make much more sense. So let's look at the state of our infrastructure, our rail infrastructure in America. This is a video that's been shared out on Twitter, but I know not all of y'all are on Twitter, and I just want to make sure you guys understand these are the tracks in Ohio. These are actual railroad tracks in Ohio that are being used to this day. This is America. This is not New Delhi, India. This is not, I mean, I'm in Thailand. This is not, Cambodia. This is not Laos. This is not some random, Sri Lanka or something. This is America. I'm just going to play this video here and watch this. And watch the train, watch the movement as it goes through this. Lux says, doesn't happen in Canada. Well, y'all are doing something right then. I can't say much about Canada then in that respect. Yeah. Bella says, that looks bad. Yeah, I think that looks bad as an understatement. Mr. CC, this is not a roller coaster ride. This is actually transporting cargo. I mean, if this was an amusement park ride, this might actually be acceptable. But no, it is the tracks here in Ohio. Now, meanwhile, I'm over here in Asia, and this comes from my good friend Meme Copium who posted this photo. But meanwhile in Japan, you've got the Shinkansens, the perfect tracks. And even over where I live in Korea, they have the KTX, they got the express trains, they got even lower quality trains, but the tracks certainly do not look like that. And Nick Cruiser brings it up right now, says, this looks horrible. We should send more money to Ukraine. Yes, that's one of the things I wanted to bring up is that, we're sending all this money abroad. When we talk about infrastructure, this is the type of infrastructure that can sorely use some fixing. Can sorely use some updating here in America. And maybe we're not going to be on the Japan level. And obviously there's some things like their density, their population densities, their small direct corridors that give advantages to those countries in terms of bullet trains. But just improving our infrastructure is something that clearly we can take some time to do, and we need to do. And if there had been a Chernobyl level event, I guarantee you we would have massive government funding coming in for infrastructure. And I understand people are saying it's state by state. It's different. It's my state is different. This is not like that in my state. That's fine and dandy. But the fact that there are any states in America, a supposed first world country that look like that is a problem. There should be 0 states that look like that. 0. So what we have here is we have this lawsuit coming out of the derailment. Now, I'm going to read the basic facts of the derailment through the complaint, which I think is the best way to read them. Let me tuck myself in the corner here and enhance here. They've already filed. So Morgan & Morgan has already filed. The ambulance chasers at Morgan & Morgan. I will say something. I had a lot of friends in Florida who work for Morgan & Morgan. I actually have met the Morgans. I've met John Morgan. I'm just going to say that there's a reason why that guy has a driver. You look at the guy and man, you can tell he's done some drinking in his lifetime. But Morgan & Morgan is good about settling cases, not so much taking them to trial. So I guarantee you they're going to put this to a settlement with Norfolk Southern. They also go fast. They have a pod set up, and that's a system for really going fast in terms of deploying lawsuits. And they deployed this one very quickly. So this is a lawsuit on behalf of Isa Canterbury and Lisa Sortigan individually on behalf of all other similarly situated plaintiffs against Norfolk Southern and Norfolk Southern Railway. So the plaintiffs were damaged allegedly by Norfolk Southern and Norfolk Southern Railway Company. Now, here's the facts, some basic facts. On February 3rd, 2023, at approximately 8:57 p.m., a mechanical defect alarm sounded on an eastbound Norfolk Southern Railway freight train 32N. An overheated wheel bearing was failing and leading to catastrophe. So right there, this is one thing why I don't think it's going to be the same as Chernobyl, is because it wasn't because of a human error that was due to hierarchy or bad decision making or something else. This was due to pretty much negligence, and I almost want to say simple negligence. And I say that in the sense that it was a single issue which they were negligent to inspect, replace, upgrade, fix. So it's not a complicated series of events. In Chernobyl, many things had to go wrong. In this, it was really just one thing that fucked the whole train. So moments later, after that wheel bearing overheated, it failed. Train 32N derailed in East Palestine, Ohio. 50 rail cars were derailed or damaged. Several cars containing flammable and combustible materials breached, spilling approximately 688,000 pounds of polyvinyl, 273,000 pounds of ethyl hexane acrylate, and 273,000 pounds of ethylene glycol minobutyl ether, and about 200,000 pounds of butyl acrylates, and igniting an inferno that would burn for days. Train 32M was carrying 5 rail cars full of vinyl chloride. Vinyl chloride is a powerful cancer-causing gas. Public health bodies such as the IRC, EPA, and NTH unanimously categorize vinyl chloride as a known human carcinogen. Vinyl chloride causes numerous forms of cancer, including rare forms of liver cancer. There is no safe level of exposure to vinyl chloride. It's a DNA mutating chemical. They're exposed to vinyl chloride may already be undergoing DNA mutations that may not manifest as clinical cancer diagnosis for years and decades. So already we're seeing how this is different than Chernobyl. In Chernobyl, radiation, and particularly acute radiation poisoning, it is very immediate. If you're acutely poisoned by radiation, you're fucking dead. I'm just going to throw that out there. We're 12 minutes in. By the way, guys, smash the like button for me cursing, because that's the only way that the algorithm is going to recognize us, is if you guys like this content over there on YouTube and on Rumble and everywhere else. Locals as well. All 6 of you on Locals. So this is a good comment here, which Dwayne brings up, which is lack of proper maintenance is the cause of many major accidents. So that's the thing, and that's why this isn't Chernobyl. If this was something that was coming down, let's say it was Biden came up with a policy that said, hey, we're gonna not look into our rail. We're gonna go to the lowest common denominator. We're gonna go to an equal opportunity hiring thing, for whatever. There's some concrete policy decision that can be tied to this. I think we might get some change, but because we're not having that here, I don't think it's the same. And because vinyl chloride is something that most people don't know about. They don't know about it like nuclear radiation. You can't put Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the same realm as vinyl chloride. Now, they do try to say, hey, look, this is something that was used during World War I. Vinyl chloride was a toxic gas that was used during World War I. You can see that right here, where they say phosphine gas, right? It creates, when it's on fire, it creates phosphine gas. Phosphine gas is a chemical warfare agent banned under the Geneva Convention and responsible for the deaths of about 85,000 people in World War I. Well, yes, that's a very good point, but it's still not as scary as an atom bomb. And look, I'm not saying this is not bad. This is very bad. This is extraordinarily bad. But what you're looking for when you have a giant event is you're looking for it to be very visible, very palpable, something that people latch onto and are able to actually demand change. But in this, suing the train company is only going to make them more broke and only going to cause more accidents like this to happen. And they're going to happen, maybe not with vinyl chloride. In fact, the majority of them won't be with vinyl chloride. The majority of them won't look like this. Holy shit, this looks bad. This looks really fucking bad. And this is going to happen more often as they continue to neglect their infrastructure, as they continue to not improve, as they continue to go to the lowest bidder. This is going to happen. But unfortunately, this one incident is not going to be it. I don't want to hype it up. I know a lot of people are out there trying to hype it up. I don't want to hype it up to be something it's not. We should be very mad about this. We certainly should be upset about this. And absolutely, we should demand that our policy regarding infrastructure changes. But this alone is not going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Unfortunately, more bodies have to hit the floor. The hard times have to really roll in before people wake up and realize what's going on. we can see this and point to this and say, you should have known. And they should learn from this. But I'm here to tell you as corporate counsel, I'm here to be the one guy who's going to be real with you. They are not going to learn from this. They're not going to learn from this. They're going to continue doing the same shit. They're going to continue underfunding us, underfunding infrastructure, funding other countries over America, funding things that are leagues away, funding gender, equity programs in Pakistan. They're going to fund those over funding shit like this in your home state. And I understand, look, there's a lot of stuff that's backlogged. Maybe labor is down right now. It's hard to hire. There's a lot of reasons they can push this off on. They can say, oh, we didn't have the proper parts because of China or Russia or whatever the fuck they want to blame it on. They can try to do that. But, I mean, this is just the sign of decay. It's a sign of failure in a society. When something like this happens, there should be serious investigation. But I guarantee you there will not be major changes in the rail industry. It's unfortunate. Now, Morgan & Morgan may make a shit ton of money on this. And in fact, I expect them to make money on this. In fact, I expect them to settle this case. I think with the potential people who are impacted by this, which if you look down, and I'm scrolling here to get kind of, they have a little zone of impact, which almost looks like a nuclear bomb right here. All natural persons who reside and own property within a 30-mile radius of 1020 East Taggart Street, East Palestine, Ohio, the class zone. It's represented by 30 miles from the derailment. That's big. That's large. It includes pretty much all of Youngstown. Almost reaching over here into Pittsburgh, into certainly the outskirts of Pittsburgh. Huge class area. And certainly Morgan & Morgan is going to take anybody in that area. And by the way, if you know somebody in that area, have them get in on this. Have them get some of that sweet bussy, that sweet train money. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. And I think they will make money on this. I think Morgan will settle this case. It's going to happen. But the railways aren't going to change, guys. They're not going to change. It's like Amtrak, like you can hope and pray that Amtrak's going to improve and suddenly Amtrak's going to have bullet trains, but it's not going to happen. Amtrak is on a slow decline. They're just holding these things. Same with the postal office. They're holding it as it declines, but the quality, the services are going to decline. It's going to be a slow decay. They're saying a farmer 50 miles away lost livestock. I believe it, but, once again, it's got to be contributed back. There's lots of reasons why a farmer on any given day can lose livestock, even seemingly random reasons to lose livestock. So let's not go full crop circle on it. But that's what's going on with the Ohio derailment. As that lawsuit heats up, as it goes to trial, I'll stay on top of it. And I'll see what happens with the lawsuit when it settles, which I think it will. I will report on that. But I do not expect much out of that. I'm just going to be honest with you. I know a lot of other content creators. They're out there fluffing you. They're telling you, "Oh, the Murdoch case. That's the best case ever. Oh my God." No. I'm just not somebody who's going to sit here and say these things are great. Everything is fine. It's just not me. It's not my style, guys. I do it. I do it straight up, whether or not people like it or not. So that's my assessment. If it had been Chernobyl, there would have been massive consequences. So let's get over to Eliza Bleu. Let's get over to the internet drama that never, ever, ever ceases. I do think, though, we are on the last leg of the Eliza Bleu drama. I think this is the final arc. I think we've gone past the crescendo. This is falling down. This is falling down here in terms of this drama, because I think everything that's said is almost said, particularly after we talk about today. Everyone's asking about Thailand. Yes, I'm still in Bangkok. I'm leaving tomorrow morning. So I'll be out of here tomorrow morning and back in Seoul. I will be back in Bangkok very often. I'm considering it a second base of operations kind of going forward. And then, by the way, anybody who knows me, anybody who's been following my channel knows that's always been my plan. I never plan to be solely in one place, but in multiple places in Asia. So... I'll check out, some people say check out Chiang Mai. I'll check out Chiang Mai. I definitely will next time I'm here. This time I was just in Bangkok, chiefly this time. All right, so let's go to Eliza Bleu. So let's start with this. And I know some people want me to go into TimCast, and don't worry, we're going into TimCast. But let's just start with this. Let's start here, which is Eliza's tweet, which is Defango. I accept your apology, Eliza. So this is in response to the final TimCast episode after the retraction, after the massive retraction of all their articles. Where they're talking, where there's an interview between Shane Cashman and Defango. We're going to go through that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to read that. And I'm going to explain why this is a giant L. And why Eliza, she's really digging it in by trying to pretend this is a W. This is not a W for her. We're going to read through this, and I want to read it in full context, read it in context of the whole article, and we're going to come back to it. But Eliza is trying to claim a W when she really is taking an L. We know she's taking the D, but now she's taking the L. We all know that. We all know that. And by the way, I want to give a quick shout out to, I saw Brittany Venti on Alex Stein. Seems like that word is really getting out there, and that the word about Eliza and her scams has really got out there in the media, on social media, which is great. And I think it is time for Eliza to go away, but she's just not learning that lesson. She's a clout chaser. She's a clout goblin. She takes whatever attention she can take, whether it's bad or good. So I think this is enough. I think after today, we're going to have kind of put her to rest. So let's look over here with the addendum to the Perpetual Trauma Machine. Now, in case you guys missed it, the Perpetual Trauma Machine was a 3-part series by Shane Cashman. Really should be Shane Simpman, because he 100% did a puff piece on Eliza Bleu. No critical commentary, not taking her to task, just kind of asking her questions and taking her at her word. So they had to retract the whole series. So they pretty much removed all other previous articles related to Shane Cashman's article, Shane Cashman. So, and Eliza Bleu. So all those other 3 articles about the Perpetual Trauma Machine were removed. So them calling this addendum to the Perpetual Trauma Machine is ironic, because they pretty much take back everything they say. They take back everything they said, which is hilarious. So let's read through this and see how they take this out. So after the publication, Shane Cashman contacted Manuel Chavez, a name that had been reported as a one-time affiliate of the now defunct public relations company. So here's what happened. Manuel Chavez, aka Defango, he was the one they were calling the gang stalker. The gang stalker. He was the individual they were calling that. He was the one they were pinning this on. So this whole thing was put on him. So I said this, and I said this first. I was the one who came out there ahead of everybody else and said this. Defamation, defamation, defamation. Look back. I said it. These guys have to worry about defamation. Tim Pool has to worry about defamation. I was one of the first people to say that, and I stayed on it because I knew it was going to go there. I knew it was going to go there. I was getting information from people on both sides of this. I was getting information from Tim Simps that were trying to write me saying, oh, no. This really is an op, bro. This is an op. They really believe that. They're like, this is an op. Here's the proof. Here's the receipts. They were trying to convince me of this. While on the other side, people were, saying, hey, look, these guys are just totally shilling for Eliza Bleu. There's probably some sexual shenanigans that went on between the TimCast's crew and Eliza. I was getting information on both sides. I got to be honest. But looking at it each and every time, I was very, very wary on both sides to not say anything defamatory. And I knew that these people, they're not being careful. They're not thinking. They're just doing things. They're just saying stuff. They're just making accusations. And when you start doing that, you're going to defame somebody. And eventually somebody with enough money is going to sue you for defamation. Eventually that's going to happen. You get away with it for a while, but eventually somebody is going to say, hey, I'm going to file a claim against you because you're defaming me right now. You've accused me of a crime that I didn't do. So the company in question, so he has clarified his distance from the company and does not employ the tactics that have been previously reported on. I.e., they are literally admitting in the header here that they committed defamation. I'm going to be honest. Based on what they said he did, which was go after people in black bags, in a van and stab them in the middle of the night and stuff like that and make them, give them injections, all this shit. That's defamatory. That's accusing him of a crime, of criminal behavior. And the fact that Shane Cashman went out and published that without even trying to confirm it shows that TimCast's should not be taken as a serious journalistic entity. This article, and I'll say this very clearly, I think this article completely nuked their journalistic integrity. Whatever integrity Tim was trying to build was blown by this. Good job, buddy. Good job. And Tim trying to play like, oh, I didn't have authority whether he writes it or not. I don't really care. No, buddy, you are at the top. You make the calls. That's your brand and your reputation. Your reputation is fucked, buddy. Now you got to wear the Jack Murphy beard in addition to the beanie, or perhaps as the beanie. You could fashion the Jack Murphy beard into the beanie. His credibility is shot for that. And look, what I'm looking for in people, when I look at people, I look for them for their area of expertise. If you're shilling fitness, then you should be fit, not fat. If you're a lawyer and you're shilling law, you should know something about it, right? You should be a lawyer. That would help. Or at least have gone to law school, studied law, know something about the subject area. That would help. If you're a doctor, you have medical degree, medical experience. But if you're trying to be a journalist, you have to have journalistic integrity. There's the same reason why we think CNN, MSNBC, and all those shill media, the establishment media, the mainstream, we don't call them media because they have no journalistic integrity. The reason why people watch lawyers like us on YouTube, which is random people on YouTube or lawyers, because the lawyers on TV, the lawyers on all these channels are literally spouting lies. They're spouting lies and false information. They're also spouting ridiculous theories. Let me pull one up. I actually wasn't going to do this, but there was a theory about the Murdaugh trial that was brought out, I believe, by Law and Cuck. Let me pull them up right now. They're just throwing out just wild theories, which to me, it's actually funny. They're edging on defamation here with some of the stuff they throw out there. Let's see. I don't know if they've played it yet. Okay, let me not put this on them then. They may have retracted it. But I saw a video that was circulating out there. And if you guys find this, please send this to me. Where I believe Law and Crime, might have been Court TV. I hope they're smarter than that. Was putting out a video on how Buster Murdaugh was the second shooter in the Murdaugh murder case. When you throw out stuff like that, you need to be very careful. You need to be very careful. And you lose credibility as a legal institution when you're throwing out just these wild theories that have no basis in evidence or facts. Wolfsbane says, on the internet, instead of watch your profanity, it would be watch your defamation, watch your defamatory. Your authenticity is your currency, and defamatory kills it. Yeah, if you're accusing people of crimes they haven't committed, that's definitely a problem. That's a huge problem. And I've seen, by the way, guys, I've seen $1 million defamation claims. So these things can tank you. You can have a business, you're starting up, you get a defamation claim, you are screwed. You're done. Absolutely done. So let's get back to this. Let's get back to this right here. Oh, Brandon, what's up going on? He says, hello. Be very careful today, everybody. Oh, yes. Be very careful not to defame. Thank you, Brandon. What's up? All right. The company in question offered the normal services of a PR company, but extended it to the reputation management tracking by creating positive and negative social media campaigns. They would buy positive articles, postings, and accounts to promote people, but would also engage in negative campaigns against a target if the client requested it. Chavez said they were essentially a group of LARPers trying to copy the model of Black Cuba Redacted. So these were a bunch of guys online who were flexing that they were something big, that they were some, hotshot shit, that they could, mess everybody up online through their company Shadowbox. Chavez says he began associating with the people close to this company after delving into intricate, popular online puzzles and gaining some attention by allegedly solving them. He interacted with the people he believed created the puzzles and, according to him, felt like he'd eventually been taken hostage by their hopium. Oh no, hostage by hopium. Did he get into their crypto token here? Oh, come on. Hopium. Everybody's had some hopium and been shattered at some point. Well, I know you guys have. You've had that hopium and you've been smashed. Oh, thank you, Bible Lover, for the 20 euros. Says, you were kicked out of the LawTube treehouse or tea house, whatever. Congrats on that. Your free spirit to seek the truth rather than following group thinking inspires me, and I'm applying that spirit to my own work. Keep on your good work. Guys, do whatever the hell you want to do. One thing I've learned, and especially being on YouTube and being in the YouTube game, is you got to do what you want to do. And literally, I say this with heartfelt fuck you to the haters. Do what you're going to do. Do what you love. Do what you want. You're passionate about. And don't follow the groupthink. The groupthink, it leads to this weird place and these weird ideologies. It's rooted in socialism most of the time. Communal thinking rather than individualism. Individualism is hard and it creates friction and conflict. But guess what? Human beings in society, we get better through conflict. We get better through debate, through pushing each other. We've been too afraid to have those debates that make us stronger rather than trying to collectivize, which makes us all just weaker and more impotent, more sterile. I'm always going to speak my mind, guys. I don't give a damn what other lawyers on the internet think. That being said, let's continue here. Chavez says that he spent years trying to expose the wrongdoings of people in that circle, but keeps being lumped in with them despite these efforts. Actually, speaking of, you brought up the whole LawTube thing. This actually reminds me of the same thing right here. You're trying. Imagine, like, for example, I spend years calling out the legal grifters and calling out the snakes in the grass, so to say. And yet, even after that, I get lumped in with them. And I can see how this would happen. Imagine the mainstream media right now. If the mainstream media looks at lawyers on YouTube, they're not going to differentiate between us. They're not going to know that some of us don't work with the others, right? They're just going to say, oh, all YouTube lawyers are the same. Every YouTube lawyer is the same. They're going to find one of us, find one flaw, and disqualify all of us. That's just how it works. That's just how people work. It's dishonest, it's disingenuous, and it's bad journalism. And by the way, that's what Shane Cashman did here. Shane Cashman was lazy as hell. You guys are saying, I'll take a suitcase full of hopium, please. Hopium. It's not for breakfast anymore. What's up, Don? Good to see you. All right. So he told Shane Cashman he ended up getting a restraining order against some of the people he interacted with. He provided TimCast's News with copies of the order. So he showed them that he was not part of it. That's actually important. The following interview is directly from a conversation between Cashman and Chavez after the release of part 3. So he did not speak to him till after he wrote about him. This right here shows how TimCast takes a giant L for integrity. You usually reach out to the other parties. Even freaking Taylor Lorenz does that. Even Taylor Lorenz reaches out and says, you have 3 hours to respond. Now, maybe it's not reasonable to give somebody 3 hours to respond, particularly if you're on the other side of the world. Maybe that's not reasonable, but at least they try. At least they pretend rather than not even trying and doing it after the fact when they realize they've been fucked because we covered it, because we literally stuck them out there and said, this looks like defamation. And they're like, oh shit, defamation. We haven't heard about that, bro. Does defamation come with the graphene in the air? Come on, man. TimCast's News cannot independently verify many of the claims made by the subject at this time. We decided to present the discussion as it occurred for transparency. We have edited out all the names of individuals in the company. Okay, so I think this is also a cope. This is also a huge cope. But let's get into it here. Cashman says, I just don't want to do to anyone else what I think everyone's doing to Eliza. So he's saying right here, he's starting out this thing by simping for Eliza. He's starting out this thing by saying, I still believe Eliza. My theory, so his entire theory has been destroyed. His entire theory was this was coordinated by the gang stalker. So that theory has gone away. So if your whole defense is gone, then everything about Eliza must be true because it's been backed up, verified. It's clearly not coming from these people. So to me, this, once again, this shows why they're taking an L here, because Shane Cashman has no integrity by sticking by these claims and ignoring everybody who has brought up valid facts on Eliza and how she's a lying fraud. So let's continue. And if I'm wrong, I'd like to figure out how and why. You've been wrong. I mean, Defango is putting out that proof. We put out that proof. Venti put out that. Anna put out that. Everyone has proved this. Chavez says, I've been getting censored off of Twitter, YouTube, and many other platforms unjustly because of my history. Well, it's because he was posting about Eliza plus this history, which was false. The PR company, this company that I whistle blew on, I'm the guy to put out all the information you read about it, but I don't get any credit for it. Everyone just thinks I was behind, you know. This is something I did, but I can't be farther away from the truth. It's centered around a previous company that they wanted to start. Basically, what they were doing is using this operation to sow disinformation and chaos into the system, to spread disinformation. They purposely go and feed disinformation to people. The issue here is that a lot of these people have been connected to things, have died, committed suicide. So this is true. A lot of people involved in this have died, have committed suicide. So the situation seems suspect. However, just because the situation is suspect doesn't mean this individual is guilty of those crimes. That's where they fucked up. That's where they potentially committed defamation. Let's Go says, come on now. She gives you between an hour and -1 hour to respond or lies about it. Praising Tay-Tay is a bridge too far. I'm not a Tay-Tay stan here. I'm just saying that not even trying to investigate is lazy as hell. At least Tay-Tay is clearly biased. Let's put it that way. If you, so basically they would just horrendously stalk you through the internet, which is horrible. I hate to say that gang stalking is even real or whatever, you know, if I've ever experienced any type of stalking, it's probably that kind. So there you go. There you go. And they were trying to fucking destroy me online, whether it was on Twitter, Facebook, you know. So Eliza feels like, so you know what Eliza feels like she's having happen to her right now. Literally has happened to me. So here's the thing. Eliza, he actually caged it. Eliza feels like she's having happening to her. Eliza feels like it. Feels like it. It doesn't actually happen. It's not actually happening. What's happening is people are calling her out. So he says right here, I don't want her to have an issue. I was just literally pissed off one day that she blocked me and was like trying to ask her questions. It was lightly trolling her because of, oh, you know, like, can you just tell someone? Can you at least give us something? And I've seen that there were a lot of other people online that have been saying stuff about this particular situation before me. I don't have a team. I'm a single guy. So you're not running an op. See, I've been door dashing to pay my rent. The whole point is I want to give Eliza what she needed. I don't really think people really picked up on it. Trust me, I didn't try to feed this to other people. I never meant for her to have this whole perpetual trauma machine going on. I know it's been difficult, obviously. It's been difficult because she's lying. I think in this, Chavez kind of backs down a little bit. Or maybe these statements were cropped. So let's get down to the apology because I really want to get to that. So it's more down here. So Cashman says, I'm not trying to be mean or fucked up, but what you're describing is a kind of hostage-like situation that Elijah was telling us about with her fucked up shit. No, it's not. Eliza has never actually gone through that. She's never actually gone through a situation like this. That's been pretty much proven, at least in the latter portion of her life. There's portions that are ambiguous, but the portion she's claiming, the many portions she's claiming, she's been proven to be an absolute fraud and provided no evidence, no court cases, no backup to any of her claims. When you saw the Daily Beast article about Eliza and it was written by Will Sommer, did that give you any pause because of what he's done to you previously? Yeah, actually, I noticed he was poking around. He followed me on Twitter. He never reached out to me directly or anything, but Will's been pretty well known for following me and picking up stories over the years. I don't work with the Daily Beast at all. Doesn't discredit some of the things that were said in that article. Just because it's written by somebody or someone, okay, that's fine, but you've got to rebut the facts. So there was a lot about this Helen Troy article, this Helen Troy website. People made a big deal about it. So he just bought the website as an opportunity to sell his hosting company. He never did it with the intent of gang stalking. So this whole op narrative about this all being for gang stalking, complete crap. Wolf's Pain says, simp it ain't easy. The mental gymnastics you have to put yourself through in order to make her right must be excruciating. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. Now, let's get back to the article here. So Cashman says, do you think there's a goal? Do you think there's a goal for this? Or is it just like chaos to gain power over people? This is what I don't believe. This is the part that doesn't make any sense. How does Cashman not believe that all anybody wants is the truth? All anybody ever wanted on this was the truth, which is tell the fucking truth. That's all. Hands down, period. Just tell the truth. How does he still not get that? Chavez says, for people I interact with, it seemed to boil down to money. And for the people he was with, there was money. And this is what I said. I said, with any of these things, you're going to grift. When the algorithm is favoring something on YouTube, let me tell you, people grift on it. Have you seen Amber Heard? Did you see the shit that went down? Did you see all of us grifting off of Amber Heard? We do it when the money is there. And by the way, I do it with no shame because I do it. Hey, when something is trending, I have an opportunity to both entertain and educate people. I'm going to take that opportunity and I'm going to make money on it. I'm a fucking capitalist. This commie shit and this like not wanting to make money thing, this needs to go. This really needs to go. The fact that this is percolated into our minds, that money is evil instead of money is just a communication of value. This needs to really change. But that being said, good morning, everybody's waking up, by the way. For these people that he worked with, these bad actors, it's a confidence game for criminals who like to sow chaos and manipulate people because they have no morals. They just want chaos. They play both sides of things all the time. You know, I'm not a psychopath. I'm not even a criminal. I just, for some reason, have run into many criminals over my lifetime. Like to understand how these people operate. I mean, whether it's huge drug dealers that are now in federal prison or just random people connected to me through like the piracy thing, right? I don't understand why they do half these things. That's why with the Eliza thing, I definitely didn't want it to end up like this. I would much rather, you know, have been able to talk with her. This is what everybody wanted. This is what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted to just talk with her, for her to just explain herself. Just like, listen, ho, explain yourself. But instead, she went to censoring. She went to running to daddy and calling for an army of simps to come out and censor people. She literally summoned her simp army. Hilarious. So he goes on to say, if I were able to give her a message today, obviously I would say, look, I'm definitely sorry this kind of rolled out the way that it did. You know, I take responsibility for what I've done and what I've said. And if I've been wrong, I apologize. So there you go. That's all he had to do. He apologizes there. Let me zoom in on that. This is the clip from Eliza here. But she had to take this as I'm right about everything. I'm right about everything. This does not make Eliza right about everything. In fact, it makes her more of a petty, fraudulent loser. This is more of an L for her by trying to claim this as a W. You accept with humility, not with hubris. Unlike all the other people on the internet that are just making video after video collecting cash, there's every intention to have her harassed into oblivion, right? It's not about that. It's about getting the truth, guys. It's about getting the truth. That's not what I wanted. I just hope to have some simple answers. This thing spiraled out of control in a way that I can't. And it's not the first time something like this has happened around me, but I'm saying that I'm hoping it'll be the last. For corrections, the fact that they had to put the corrections down here, the fact that they had to leave this here, they are ready. They are ready for those corrections. They are ready for that. Eric Burns says, grifter, noun, a person who thinks they have the right to eke out a living, even though they disagree with my politics. Oh, well, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see right here. So I don't want you guys to think about the Eliza Bleu controversy at this point. Let me start a little poll here for you guys. So do you guys still think she's a fraud? I want to know yes or no if you guys still think that Eliza Bleu is a fraud. But I think the big losers here were TimCast's. I think they lost their integrity. I think TimCast's will never recover from this in terms of a solid source of journalism. People are going to remember this. They're going to remember that TimCast's is platforming people, putting on people like Jack Murphy and Eliza Bleu, who they're just not vetting at all. And beyond that, they're backing them wholeheartedly without doing any research or due diligence. I think that this is a massive L for his organization. And by the way, I think this happens in organizations where you have a very draconian leader. And I think that's Tim's problem. I think Tim is from every report, if you listen to Adam, if you listen to anybody else, he seems to be a very draconian leader and a leader who is who people cannot give dissent to. So in any system, when you can't give dissent, you're going to end up with people making bad decisions because they don't want to anger the leader. They want to please the leader. It gets into this cycle of sycophants that just tell the leader what they want. And when, Tim is like, okay, we need to find her innocent, or they think that that's what he wants, they just give proof to validate that. Yeah, people say this is why his chat is members only. It turned. It definitely turned. So let's see. So far, 98% of you think Eliza Bleu is still a fraud. So the vast majority of you think that she is a fraud. You guys people on Rumble are like they know. I know y'all know you're based. So next up, thank you for the super sticker, $20 super sticker, Leprechaun Gold. Really appreciate that. And if you guys want to really help me out, go check out. And here's my shilling for the day. Go check out Field of Greens by Brickhouse Nutrition. Entering promo code Mindset. They are a very great source of your vegetables, not just essence. Really great product. They support me, support free speech. We're streaming on Rumble. They're supporting me on Rumble. Great product. Check that out. This is the thing that I choose to shill because I've used it. I had great luck with it. Most supplements are not really anything. They're just essence, just crap. It's actually a great product. Tastes good. I use it. They sent it to me. So I've been taking it and using it. So I would recommend you guys check out Field of Greens. Great product, and they support based content creators like myself and like Mr. Nicholas Ricada. So support those that support us. Promo code Mindset in the description. Now, couple questions here, guys. Smash the like button as well on this. We're at 823 with only 290 likes. So Ryoji says, Chavez is simping. No, they ship outside the United States, I believe. I believe they ship outside the United States, Jimmy. Field of Greens. All right. So a couple questions here. Some people are asking about the Murdoch trial. So Freedom Ring asked this one. This is a good question I want to get out. Am I covering it? I am covering the highlights. So I do plan on doing like more of weekly highlights. I had y'all take votes, and I do plan on doing weekly highlights for the best things and kind of going through the best stuff weekly. When I'm back in Seoul, I plan on doing a weekly recap. So I do plan on doing that. Maybe I'll invite Legally Dirty Blonde on. She's a good friend of mine, and she's a good addition to the cast and to the stream, and she has really good insight and an amazing podcast. So we'll be covering that. But frankly, I didn't sign up for a financial crimes trial, and it is a financial crimes trial where they are trying to bury him under a mountain of evidence. They are trying to bury him by just putting out a bunch of evidence which is not related to the actual crime and saying he's a bad person in general, so you should convict him of his crime. That's not how justice works. That's not how due process works. And to me, what I've learned is the lawyers with integrity and the lawyers that actually believe in innocent until proven guilty are becoming very clear on this. This case was overhyped. This case was a lie. Anybody who says this is the case of the century, or even should be the case of the century, is just saying that because they want to drive their stream, drive their views. It's not. This will not even be the case of the year. This will be much, much lower in interest than anything else. We're going to get better cases this year, guys. Do not think this is going to be it for the year. We're going to have much better stuff. And I'm looking in the future to do more highlights, unless it's a case that I'm really specifically digging into and doing a deep dive on, or a very giant case that clearly is going to merit more attention than this. The other question was the H3H3 lawsuit, and saying, no, I may look into that one. I've been told about that. So that's one I may jump in on. H3H3 is obviously a POS, and I am happy to look into him and all of him being a POS. Well, let's see. So, yeah, lawyers with integrity. I mean the unemployed ones? No. There's some lawyers out there. They're a rare breed, but there are lawyers with integrity. But if there's anything else you guys want me to cover, please make sure to send that to my locals. Please drop a comment on this video and make sure you guys are talking about that. I am going to be back tomorrow in Seoul, South Korea. And I will be back doing my regular shows there. I'm going to be trying to do at least 3 live streams on YouTube, but I will be doing an Alt Tech exclusive starting next week. There'll be a full Alt Tech exclusive on Rumble, and I will be continuing with 2 locals live chats per week at a minimum. Snoopy says, on behalf of the degenerates in the chat, some ankle and toe action will be invigorating. Not happening. Well, first of all, I'm wearing pants, so they cover the ankle. But toe action is definitely not happening on this stream. That's for the OnlyFans or the Only Stands. That's for much later. Is Susan stepping down? Oh, if Susan is stepping down, that'll be fantastic. That'll be glorious. With that being said, guys, I'm going to take off here for the night. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you smash the like button, and I will catch you all later when I'm back in Korea. Guys, stay based. Peace.